what's up? It's me again, Youngmaster3, and yeah, finally I'm up with this video right now. I'm gonna make the top 5 of the month for the month of January. I know that I've been talking about making a horror review video, but I haven't seen too many horror films, to be honest, and that's really the main reason why, yeah, I just haven't made any review video of those, because when I make my review videos, I usually want to make them within like at least 24 hours after I've watched the film. Otherwise, it's because I mean my memory isn't really the greatest, so that's the reason why. So well, enough talk about that. Now let's talk about the top 5 of the month for the month of January. At number 5 we have a classic film from the 70s, which I was sort of like a. I'm a little bit embarrassed that I had not seen this one before. This got recommended to me by one of my friends, and the film is called The French Connection. Really great drama, crime type thriller type film. It has a whole lot of action in it as well, and there has some really amazing car sequences as well. The only thing that I just really didn't understand, or that it was like a little bit rushed in a way, was the ending, which I thought, well, that didn't really make a whole lot of sense. But anyway, I'm not gonna spoil the film for you, but if you haven't seen it, you pretty much know what I'm talking about. So yeah, and this one also got a sequel, which I'm really looking forward to watch, because I have no idea how the hell they're gonna make a sequel to the first one, because the first one ended in a very weird and strange way. So yeah, but I mean, I've still heard okay things about the second one, but I highly doubt it's going to be as good as the first ones. So yeah, and the main reason why I want to watch that one as well was because it was directed by William Friedkin. So yeah, French Connection at number 5. And at number 4 we have a film which I do not think have any DVD or Blu-ray releases, but after watching this I really hope it gets a release. I would love to see this one in like a double pack along with Thunder Alley, which is a very similar type of film. So yeah, the film is called The Running Kind from 1989. It sort of has a similar type of storyline. It's basically about this like band like punk band, or a rock band, or whatever you want to call it, and it's about this teen that moves to LA, and damn, my nose is just sorry for that. Well, anyway, it's basically about this teen that moves to LA to it's either he wants to join a band or he's looking for like a drummer, and then he starts to hang out with this punk band, this all-girl punk band, and they become friends and they talk with each other. I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything about it, but I thought the main reason why I enjoyed this was so much was because of the characters, the chemistry, the acting, and the believable storyline. Because this is, once again, just like with Thunder Alley, I really like both of these two films because they feel very, very realistic and very well made. Like this could have happened in real life, basically, so back in the 80s. So yeah, but both those two films I would love to see in a double pack, or like released like at all, because I think Thunder Alley at least had a very old Anchor Bay DVD release, which is pretty much impossible to get a hold of for decent money. So yeah, that's just what I've heard. So well, enough about that. But yeah, The Running Kind at number 4. Let's continue with the music, shall we? Because the next one is at number 3 is another film which has a whole bunch of music in it and has sort of that as a involved in the storyline as well. But the movie is called Pump Up the Volume, which I've heard is so supposed to be like a late 80s, early 90s teen film with Christian Slater, who definitely is the greatest actor and the greatest character in this entire film. Some people might think that his character comes across as a douchebag. Don't get me wrong, the first like maybe 10-15 minutes you feel like, oh, this is a stupid idiot, he should just shut up, because he's basically having this own radio station. He's like a pirate radio station, so he's basically like talking to people at his high school during this like radio show or whatever, and he always tunes in and around the same time every night. And it sort of becomes popular to listen to his radio station, even though no one really knows who it is. So he's just walking around anonymously in the high school without anyone really knowing who he is. But of course it gets more and more troubles later on into the film, which I'm not going to spoil. But great film, great chemistry between the characters, really well written story, funny and sad in some points as well. So yeah, pump up the volume at number 3. Oh, and we have another one with music in it, a whole lot of music in it. This one I have never seen before, but I'm so glad I watched it. I have always told you guys when I talk about films that I am not a big fan of musicals one bit, but I thought, well, let's give this one a shot because this is considered as one of the best ones out there, and it is The Wizard of Oz. And man, I was blown away by this. I mean, even though they have all of these like songs, at least the songs have something to do with the story and serve sort of some sort of purpose in a way. And I know it's more meant to be like aimed towards children or like kids, so that's really work. I mean, it sort of feels like a Disney film in a way. I know that sounds really weird, very weird comparison, but I think that's one of the main reasons why I enjoyed it so much, because it's just the songs are great and the characters are funny and likable, and you just hate the Wicked Witch of the West. And Judy Garland, she is amazing in this as well. Her acting, her singing, I mean, it's just phenomenal. Probably the best musical I've ever seen, and that's saying a lot coming from a person that don't like musicals one bit usually. But I think this is just such a well-made musical, really. I mean, I'm not really sure if I would even call it a musical, but at least according to the back of my DVD, it says it's a musical. So I'm also looking forward to see the sequel to that one, which is called Return to Oz, which I've been told is very, very dark for being like aimed towards kids, more like a horror film in a weird way. That's what I've been told. Yeah, looking forward to that, and I'm somehow glad that's released in the 80s as well, because most of the times when you make sequels so long after the first one, they tend to fail miserably. So yeah, The Wizard of Oz number 2. Then at number 1 we have I think this was the one that got all of those Oscars. I mean, I don't watch the Oscars one bit because I think it's pretty much a shit show, let's be honest. Well, that's just my personal opinion, but yeah, I just don't care for the Oscars and all the nominations and awards and stuff like that. But this one really caught my attention because this is a South Korean film which been talked about to death. So I'm not going to tell you like basically anything about the storyline or the plot or anything, because I'm pretty sure most of you have probably heard of this. So yeah, and the movie is Parasite from 2019. Now this is a film that I'm definitely gonna try to get a hold of on DVD or Blu-ray, because I watched this on TV surprisingly, and was really surprised how well structured it is, because it has so many different things put into it, and you might think, well, it's just gonna be a big old mess, but somehow they managed to put all of the funny bits and all the dramatical type of bits together in a very well mix. So yeah, I was surprised by that, but then again, it's a South Korean film. I mean, in general, I know this might sound controversial in some way, but I would not be surprised if Asia, like China, Japan, South Korea, Thailand, I mean, I would not be surprised if all of those countries would pretty much just go away. I mean, pretty much bypass the Americans in filmmaking. I mean, when it comes to quality and good filmmaking, because in the latest years, when it comes to American productions, I'm not bashing on every single American production, but the thing that I wanted to say about it is that the mainstream films that gets released in the US right now is mostly like remakes, reboots, sequels, or superhero films. Let's be honest. Well, that's just when it comes to the mainstream stuff. So that's the one that I want to compare it with, the mainstream stuff in America towards the mainstream stuff in Asia. That's what I wanted to say, that the mainstream stuff in Asia I consider much better than the mainstream stuff in the US. Not saying the other films are bad as well. I'm just saying the mainstream stuff. So yeah, I'm just rambling on here right now, but yeah. Hope that everyone enjoyed this video, and yeah, keep your eyes open for the next video, since I record this video at 20th February, so this is probably going to be, the next video is probably going to be the top 5 of the month for the month of February, or maybe a horror review if I even like get to watch a horror film up until that point. So yeah, but anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and yes, take care and see you next time. Bye bye.